我是阿婉，今天是2025年的11月3日。那严厉的一篇报道说，从纽约市长的选举看美国华人的一个代际鸿沟，就是从向左与向右。就是这篇报道是以纽约市长选举为切入点，探讨了美国华人群体内部的一个政治代际的一个分歧。那老一代的移民多倾向于保守派，比如说右转啊，或者支持共和党或者科莫。那年轻一代则会更认同进步左派，支持的是民主社会主义者，就是毛姆达姆这一类的。那从老一代的一个立场，就是从社会主义逃离者到一个保守选民。那代表人物是谈及了杨颖，他是20世纪70年代逃离中国的一个移民。那他的政治信念是建立在反共与反社会主义的一个经历之上。他认为社会主义是一场灾难，那担忧马姆达尼的政策，比如说免费托儿公共项目重演旧梦。所以说他和许多同代人就是会去支持安德鲁·科莫或者说特朗普，主张的是勤奋、智力、反福利和依赖。那至于年轻一代的话，就是说，就是现在就是世界，我发现全球范围内都是高生活成本，所以说年轻一代会注重于高生活成本下的一种平等的诉求，那就是以26岁的安吉拉里，还有杰西卡刘、Lisa 刘等，就是为代表，他们的家庭就是多为福建或者广东移民的后裔，那在美国受教育讲英语。那他们是支持马姆达尼，那认为他的政策能够解决住房、托育、教育等高成本的问题，而且也会认为说父母的一个保守倾向是受语言的障碍、中文媒体以及虚假信息的一个影响。所以说综合上来看的话，就是老一代强调的是自律、自责和秩序。那社会阶层就是多为小企业主、房东，保守价值观。媒体环境就是依赖于包括微信啊、中文报纸啊、YouTube 的华语圈。所以说他们经历的那个历史是逃离了毛时代的一个集体主义，所以说会反感社会主义，就是对社会主义的理解是更贴合实际的。就比如说当年的大跃进啊，然后全国的一个砸锅卖铁，一个集体化的一个什么东西，我觉得这一些可能是他们对一个社会主义的一个刻板印象吧。那年轻一代的话，就有可能就是大部分可能还是出生就生在美国，那对毛时代是没有直接经验，或者说像我这一辈的，我是90年的，像我这一辈的，我没有太真切的经历过那些大饥荒啊、大屠杀。所以说那我们就刚好成长在一个更加就是安全的一个环境里，那相对来说也会注重就是社会的一个公平。其次的话，我们获取信息的一个比较多元，包括主流的一个媒体英文媒体。那像这些以二代也好，就是说他们多为教育工作者数据分析师和非盈利机构的员工，强调的是结构的和平与社会的保障。所以说，从纽约的就是华人政治所折射出来的一个现象，就是说，美国移民成功神话就是正在被重新的定义。那对自由和公平的理解，在两代人之间是发生冲突。语言、阶层、媒体塑造了就是两种美国梦。具体来读一下英文。In Chinese American family, there is a generational spirit on Mamdani. In 1976, Song Yin swam for 8 hours from Shenzhen, then a small fishing village, to Hong Kong, joining millions of mainland Chinese who risked their lives to escape hunter indoctrination and repression under communist rule. Today, at 72, she is a New York who voted for President Trump. She retired and voted earlier for Anju Kumar in Tuesday's mayoral election. She views socialism as a curse she barely survived when she fled China and fears that Mamdani, a democratic socialist and a democratic mayoral nominee, is a threat to her adopted home. Ms. Shaw cannot understand the broad enthusiasm young people have for Mr. Mamdani, who leads the race. He wants to raise taxes on the rich to fund programs like free child care, bus and city-owned grocery stores, which is vastly different from the Marxist socialism that was practiced by China under Chairman Mao Zedong. But her views reflect a growing divide within many Chinese American families between parents who flag collectivism and their children, who were raised in freedom and joy to promise of equality. The political views of many older Chinese American immigrants are shifting to the right, a trend that is playing out the mayor's race. The generations built centrally by memory, medium, and class experience has turned what some Chinese American households in New York into microcosm of a broader debate over what fairness and freedom mean, or what the American dream is really about. Miss Song and her husband arrived in the United States in 1978 with nothing. They borrowed $168 to pay their first month's rent in Chinatown and hosted to build a life. She became a reporter for a Chinese language newspaper while he started a small telecom business. One of his sons graduated from Cornell, the other from MIT. Both had professional careers, the kind of American success story that once symbolized immigrant hope. Ms. Song's political convictions are rooted in the country she fled. Socialism has been a disaster, she says. Everything I have seen and experienced points to that. It breeds laziness and kills the motivation to strive, to hurt. Mr. Mamdani proposal sounds like echoes from her past. Miss Song calls her children, who declined to be interviewed, and lots of her friends, Ivy Leaguers types, kind-hearted progressive who, in her view, fail to see socialism destructive side. Her perspective resonates with other older Chinese migrants who doubt the city can afford such free program. For younger Chinese Americans, however, Mr. Mamdani represents hope in the city facing an affordability crisis. Many have watched cheerful friends and relatives be priced out of neighbors like Sunset Park in Brooklyn and Elmhurst in Queens. Some are delaying or foregoing parenthood altogether because raising children in New York feels impossible expensive. Angela Lee, 26, supports Mr. Mamdani's plan for free childcare. She was at a philanthropy that aids low-income mothers and has seen firsthand how a lack of affordable care keeps women from pursuing an education. Her own childhood underscored the issue too. Her parents, who immigrated from Fujian province in southern China in the 1990s, sent her back to China when she was barely 2 months old because they couldn't afford to care for her. Her father, working in restaurant, her mother in garment factory. They brought her back just before she turned 5. Miss Lee, who attended Hunter College High School and the University of California, Los Angeles, was dismayed when her mother, 56, voted for Mr. Trump last year, her first presidential vote since becoming a citizen. Like many older Chinese Americans, her mother plans to vote for Mr. Kumar this week. Miss Lee believes language and media consumption drive much of the generation dive. Language barriers really depends the generational divide within our community, said Miss Lee, who lives with her parents in kindergarten queues. At home, she speaks a mix of Mandarin and Fujian dialect with her parents and translates between them and her two younger siblings who speak primarily English. Despite decades in the United States, many middle-aged and older immigrants speak little English and rely solely on Chinese language media. Miss Lee and many young Chinese Americans blame misinformation on YouTube, the Chinese messaging app WeChat, and local Chinese language newspapers for hardening pro-Trump views among older immigrants. In last year's election, support for the Democratic presidential candidates, Vice President Kamala Harris, among Chinese Americans fell to 53% from over 70% in 2020, according to the American Electorate Voter Poll, a large-scale national survey of voters. A New York Times analysis of 2022 New York governor race found that voters in Asian neighborhoods across the city shifted 23% points to the right, compared with 2018 Chinese increase in Sunset Park and Bensonhurst in Brooklyn. Even flipped Republican for the first time in at least a decade. Joy Zhang, a registered Democrat who lives in Sunset Park, said her 13-year-old daughter could not believe she plans to vote for Mr. Kumar, who has faced sexual harassment accusations. Mr. Kumar has denied the accusations, but Mr. Zhang, 44, said she didn't believe in free stuff, even if she understood why her children were excited about Mr. Mamdani. The U.S. has changed in recent years, said Mr. Zhang, a customer service representative who immigrated from Fujian in 2003. It wants people to believe that everyone deserves the same, no matter the effort, but life doesn't work that way. The debate has caused tensions in some households. Jessica Liu, a graduate student born and raised in Sunset Park, recalled arguing with her mother last fall. Her mother urged her to vote for Mr. Trump, saying he would lower living costs. Mr. Liu, 25, countered that he would cut Medicaid, Medicare, and other social programs that her grandparents rely on. She hadn't asked her mother about the cuts Mr. Trump and Congress have made to social benefit. I'm too scared that if it will cause another argument, Miss Liu said. She has been canvassing for Mr. Mamdani's campaign since the spring. Lisa Liu, a data analyst at the World Bank, has had a similar debate with her mother and father. Like Miss Zhong, her parents fled mainland China to Hong Kong in the 1970s, then migrated to the United States in 1978. They worked in restaurant and real estate in Chinatown and Sunset Park, sending their 2 children to Harvard and Yale. Her parents voted for both Democratic and Republican candidates until 26. When they become steadfast supporter of Mr. Trump, they believed he would bring down the Chinese Communist Party, Ms. Liu said. Even though they thought his instincts and approach are very much reminiscent of an authoritarian government. Ms. Liu's father died late last year. Her mother, Hua Mei Liu, said she hadn't decided whom to support for mayor, but wants someone who will take crime seriously. She also echoed a conservative refrain that too many people exploit social programs. There should be proper vetting, she said. Don't let people take unfair advantage of it. Her daughter finds the bill frustrating. Her parents benefit from the program they now criticize: free childcare, food stamps, and other support for lower-income families. When she challenged them about that, she said, "They just pretended not to hear me." Thanks for your listening. Hoping your life fully with happiness. And please subscribe me. Thank you.